Hey guys, welcome to the Shawn Linton talk show. I'm your host. I just want to talk briefly about this motto that it says, out of many one people. Out of many one people. That's a motto, that's one of the motto of Jamaica. It was actually on one of the notes, but the notes, I can't remember what one it was. I believe it is, I'm not even sure if I could find it. I probably should have it in some, posterity, for posterity purposes, locked away. It says, out of many one people. Now, the reason for that is that Jamaican, if I could go back, when it is started by the, not really started, but they said they had, few people living there that, they lived in huts, and they had eaten hedgehogs and mudfish. They were called the arwak. Now, when the slave took some set of the black people from Africa, and they were living. That was English. You had the Spaniards. Christopher Columbus. It is said he could not have discovered Jamaica, because it was already discovered, maybe discovered where European and the Western world considered it to be, because the history that we read, we know definitely it is not so. It is, and it is just the way it is and always have been. People amend and change things to fit and to suit themselves or their heritage that they would like it to be. We see these things, competitive spirit on telly, with shows and competitions, but in real life, on a world record, it's like that. But Christopher Columbus at the time, the Queen of Spain, was a monarch. It's still a monarch, but it was a monarch at the time, and the monarch was a queen called Queen Isabella. Queen Isabella of Spain did not believe in Christopher Columbus' voyage, and she did not invest a lot in it. So it was not well supported. But the English, the Spanish had Jamaica. They called it Escamaica. It was called Escamaica. The Spanish town was the capital. Now I think years after, the English, they wanted the world, and that was how country fought. This is how they had kings, and they maintained power by the amount of land they had, the amount of slaves they had, the amount of people they ruled over, and that showed their power and their wealth, and so they went out. And one thing you admire about the English is that when they may be few, but they're going out in an army. Now, there were kingdoms at the time that were more powerful than England, like the French were more powerful, Portugal was more powerful, and Spain was more powerful at the time, more than the English. But the English are a force that unite together, and they stick together, and if they're investing in a cause, they come together, boom, and they go, with everything. Now, they went out to Jamaica, saw the island, loved the island because it was rich. It is very enriched in, you would say, bananas and coffee and cocoa and bauxite, and it was a whole lot of the richness that was in from Jamaica. And it was and the culture and the practice. So when they took it, they saw it, they took it from the Spaniards, and they killed the Spaniards. They took it over. They had a war. They got it. But what they did, they understand that a country needs a capital. And what is the capital? What is the purpose of the capital? Is a defense force. It's the fight of. So the capital must have a port. you know. So they took it. Spanish Town did not have a port. Spanish Town is a city that is enclosed, you know, so it's not a port. So Kingston has a port, so they gave Kingston the capital and renamed it Jamaica, you know, the land of wood and water. And they worked, it is so hard, you know. A lot of them died from hard work. And you know, when by the time the Africans came, you know, working, they worked so hard. So you see, out of many one people is talking about the existence, the life, you know, like in my family personally, I've got, my family is like the rainbow, white, all the race is in my family, you know. You can see, and I must say, Jamaica is the only Caribbean country that has such a diverse race. Jamaica stand out across the world because even though it is a Caribbean island, not even a country, as it is an island, it stand out for its prosperity in education, bauxite. I mean, anything that Jamaica does is the center of the world. You know, Jamaica, you would say, is the leader for the rest of the Caribbean islands. And you know I said that with respect, and anyone that actually, you know, study would agree with me on that basis, that Jamaica, when it comes on to when they do something, is in passion and pride and power and fire, and it is very diverse. You have upper class, middle class, working class. You have Jamaica is a strong class system, is run by a strong class. The classes rules, you know. You have people that are very wealthy, people that are middle wealthy, people that are little lower, and people that are working class. They're professional, whether they are doctors or nurses or professional, but they are working class. And you got people that are educational class, and you got the church class in Jamaica is another class. The churches are very powerful in the country. That is another class by itself. You know, they promote education and pride and sort of this being an asset and being the center of what you do it with pride and do it with such good standing. You got to cut above the average. You must know that you come from a good soil and good heritage. You know, the education and all I must say, I haven't got the anthem, but the anthems are beautiful. Jamaican land we love, and it's talking about God bless our land. The pledges is about healing of our land, you know, and the food, ackee and saltfish. And I'm telling you, it is awesome. So, you know, out of many one people is showing the diversity of the culture of Jamaica, that they are very diverse. You can never look on somebody and assume or make an assumption that they are Jamaicans, because you don't know. People are from the different class systems there, and people are from very different backgrounds. So one person will know is from this system from Jamaica, and another person from a different system. I just hope that I am able someday to do a documentary on BBC to show the powerful diversity of the country, of the island, and of the culture itself. You know, it's very wide and very much diverse, and a lot of time people see the ghetto culture. Now, I do not I've got anything against the ghetto culture if it is kept in its right context. You got to remember that none of us, you haven't got a choice to be black, neither have you was given a choice to be Caucasian or to be Indian or to be Chinese. No one have. We were just born, and whether you're born, you weren't given a chance to say, well, I'm going to be born in this country or that country. It's just, these things just happen. These are is faith, and God has a plan for it all. So it is understanding that people with that to understand the diversity is to understand the people better. So the ghetto people is not necessarily a bad. They happen to, a lot of them happen to be born there, and most of them, a lot of them, make good use of the opportunity that has been given to them. Now we have mini ghettos, and we have and we got some serious ghettos. But some people, I give respect to the people that came from the ghetto and arise to the place that they want to be, because you've got to understand that you can be anything you want to be. You can achieve any goal if, as long as you put God before and you keep working in our faith, your time will come. Don't look on the person next door, or don't look on the person before you. Don't look on the person on the left in the Bentley, or the Rolls on the right of you. Keep your eyes on your vision. Keep your eyes on you, on what God has for you, and wait your turn. And if you are and if you're meant to be blessed, then you will be, because God is overseeing all. And let me tell you something, nothing bypass him. Nothing. Oh yes. So the diversity within Jamaica is such diverse that you got people, white people, black people, Chinese people, people from all walks of life is in that little island with such rich history and such rich culture. You can see a Chinese person and they're speaking proper Raban Jamaican, and you can see Indian Raban Jamaican, and you can see a white person Raban. You can see mixed people that if you are in, because this is a Western European country, it looks different. When you are there, you will understand that it is just a part of that country, is a part of the island. And also remember that as Jamaica got independent, everyone that lived in Jamaica were British. They're British. There's some country, because you got the islands, you got the American Virgin Island, British Virgin Island, French Virgin Island, Dutch Virgin Island, and you've got different islands that is owned by different European countries across the globe, and Britain has got the British Virgin Island, like the Cayman Islands, and is still British. There's a lot of countries that are still British, but Jamaica got independence in 1962. We are not a republic. Jamaica is what you call a commonwealth. A commonwealth. The Queen, we heard that Prince Charles will succeed his mother, Her Majesty the Queen, in becoming the head of the Commonwealth countries. So the Commonwealth countries they still practice the same. The law is still British. As a matter of fact, in a Commonwealth country, they are not fully governed by the crown, but it is similar to like a constitutional monarchy. Like the Queen does not have full power here. We have a government. So Jamaica is independent, but we go after a system of British, making us Commonwealth. So certain major decision has to be made by the Queen. We have what you call a Governor General. A Governor General, he lives in a place in Jamaica called King's House. You got Jamaica House, the residence of the Prime Minister. King's House, the resident of the Governor General. Then you got the Parliament and Garden House and all of these political offices. But the King's House is where the Governor General, who is a representative of the Queen in Jamaica. The Governor Generals are generally selected or picked out by the Queen, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, to represent her in the Commonwealth. So the Governor General in Jamaica is a reminder of the crown in Jamaica that is separate from the government. They can override the government's decision if need to. Never need to, and we hope not. just as how the Queen has never can override the British Prime Minister's decision if it is going alien to the principles of our Constitution. But the Queen has never had to exercise that power, and we hope that we will never have that case. So the diversity within the country knows that it is not far. The education in Jamaica is the same education here, maybe better in ordinary schools. The education in Jamaica is top. You know, we have children who are educated in ordinary school that is like prep school, private school. The Catholic schools are good. The education, they're very strict on education, but the education are very British in the sense that the prime ministers, the doctrine, how they teach with the English. So a Jamaican that is educated coming to Britain will fit correctly in the system, because the education is not separate, and it's also a Christian country, a Christian island. Not forgetting there is a Port Royal, that is when you leave Kingston Airport, Norman Manley Airport, leaving, you will see that most of it is now destroyed in the earthquake. I think it's 1907, don't quote me correctly, but I think it is earthquake. Most of it is underwater. Now the Port Royal in history, that was the wickedest and richest and wickedest city on earth. Now back in the days, to be a pirate is when you do not have a letter from a monarch to go and scavenge and get golds from everywhere, diamonds, rubies, whatever treasure, you know. And if you do not get a letter from the monarch, from the king or the queen of that kingdom, giving you the authority to sail the high seas and get treasures and bring it back to the crown, and you will get your share. So if you don't have that letter, it means that you're a pirate and you are illegal. It's not legal. That's what they classify to be piracy. You know, Jamaica, they wanted a port to distribute their treasures and then they can distribute it across, send it to Britain and wherever they want to send it, and Port Royal was selected because of its rich, just because of how it was beautiful, it was sandy, it was just perfect in everything, making Jamaica, Port Royal, the richest and wickedest city on earth after the earthquake, and I think Port Royal to this day still owned by the crown of Britain, and so Jamaica has a whole lot of history. I do wish Jamaicans more will study their history, that they can talk more about it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and they can actually be proud of the diversity, the educational system, the political system, just a different diversity. And I do know that people's experience are different, but we know that given your experience, according to your experience, you're not talking for the entire nation, but you're speaking from yourself, and that is your right. So if you have a bad experience, and you've got a right to tell your story. That doesn't mean the entire country's got a bad experience, or I've got the same, not because you do something for A that another person doesn't do it for A. So Jamaicans get on, the right Jamaicans get on with everybody, white, black, pink, because Jamaica is out of many one people. As I said before, I've got the rainbow in my family. White, black, mix, everybody. And I'm not even talking about the people who you're married to. I'm talking about the people that is in the bloodline. That is a diversity of family. You can have somebody as dark as skin as me, but their eyes is completely blue. I have a Caucasian here. My cousins here is right down to their right down to their back, right going down to their bums. My mom, long hair straight down, real. The diversity of the country. Not everybody is nappy and black and crying and sucking and crying. No, that may be a very small fraction, but does not speak for the entire nation. or the entire island. It is out of many one people because of the cultural diversity, because of the background diversity, because of the family diversity, because of the historical diversity, just because it is a very diverse but one. So Jamaica is one of the only Caribbean country you can go and see black, white, pink, everybody mixed together. Bob Marley, father was English and mother was black. That's what I'm talking about. But if you look at Bob Marley, you never tell that he's got any white in him. Doesn't necessarily. You will see someone that looks just like a white person, but they are black. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are mixed. Jamaica, as what English here would call, as what this culture here, in the United Kingdom will call mixed race. Because because that is a culture for the island out of many one people, different shades, different accent, different eye color, eyes. I don't get it. I've got light brown eyes, but a lot of my cousins have got hazel, eyes. So you see, it's just very diverse. And it's always good to educate yourself. Read on the culture, read on the pride, read on the education, read on the culture, read on the wealth, read on the fight, read on the preservation of the inheritance of the legacy of the country, and what these great heroes, national heroes, both men and women, these people, these great religious leaders, these great patriarch and matriarch of the society that fought to put us in the center of the world, Marcus Garvey, Paul Bogle, Sam Shark, George William Gordon, Nanny, all the great Christian leaders that have come together in working the great charity in Jamaica that is doing good. The Apostolic Church, the Pentecostal Church, the Food for the Poor, YMCA, Red Cross. All the businesses that help the community is a very diverse. You will go to Kingston, you will see white people sit and eat. You will see a good relationship. People have got no prejudice. They're very proud and they respect people for their views, and everybody got a right to say what they have to say as long as you respect each other. That's one thing I like about them. If that's what you believe what you believe, talk it out. I don't believe what you believe, and I'll let you say, have your time in court, and I will have my time. That's what you believe, I believe. I won't disrespect you. I just don't see it your way. That's one of the things I like, and this is one of the things that we must adopt or get back. That is the power of out of many one people. That's the country. That is the beauty. The beauty. I'm telling you, that is just a beauty to see. All the different children together. I was in a class, teaching a class, and there was a whole lot of mixed children. That was when I visited Jamaica, and I go regularly to work and my humanitarian work and religious work, And I remember when there's this class there, and you got children, different shades, and some of them were parents that have gone to Holland. They were born in Holland, and these were Jamaican people that have lived in Holland that brought their children back from Norway, Denmark, Sweden, from Japan, from China, from England, from America, from Canada, from Austria, all over the world. And it is so good to see all the different race of children together. And I was born, and they are all Jamaican parents, but were born in Europe or America, Canada, and across the globe. Isn't that a beauty? And we have to preserve the heritage by passing it on. And it is very diverse. Oftentimes it's so discussed. Not everybody is a yardie. As a matter of fact, yardie is a derogatory word. It's a derogatory word. An American, it's got even no affiliation with Jamaica. It's an American bad, disgusting gangs that were no good. Yardie. No. Not everybody speak, yo, you alright, man? Yeah, not everybody, that is idiotic. Not everybody speak like that, you know? Not everybody do speak like that. And that does not affiliate with being Jamaican. Some people believe that if you are a Jamaican male and you don't smoke and spit and cuss and so forth, you're not really Jamaican, or no, because that is a wrong perception. Very wrong perception. Very, very wrong. It's out of many one people. It's one people because they've got one heart and they unite together. But it is different because of their faith, because of their culture, because of their families, because of their education, because of how their system, their occupation, their professional is different, but they are one. They are one. And that is where we alter the origins. And I don't know what happened, why Jamaicans are not speaking up intelligently, not swearing to make them believe that that's what everybody does. That's idiotic and stupid. Speak intelligently that people understand the diversity. Not everybody is like that. And it does not mean that they're gay, they're twisted, or they're sick in the head, or they're crazy, or they're mad, or they smoke drugs, or they smoke, because that is just the association that has been associated with some set of people from Jamaica. If they know, yo, you're right, man. No, don't do that. You know, patois was developed from, patois is like broken French, broken Dutch, broken Portuguese, is a broken